If you build it, he will come. Now, folks, if you haven't watched the movie, you need to watch the movie. It's Field of Dreams. Kevin Costner. It's a great all-time classic. In fact, it's a movie that Doc and I really don't talk about when we talk about top sports movies. But that's for a different subject.
I was going to say, because, we can jump into it right now. Only reason I think it's not, I'll just say this really quickly.
It's not heavy on the sports side. It's more of the drama.
Right. But then again, that also takes away from the likes of Jerry Maguire and a few other movies. So
exactly. But Doc,
shout out to Kevin Costner, though.
Shout out to Kevin Costner. Shout out to the MLB and their Field of Dreams game that they had last night. It was a banger.
They built it.
And it was high drama and excitement as unfortunately my Yankees went down late in the ninth. But hey, we came back. They did the Field of Dreams intro where Kevin Costner actually entered through the field, and then both teams came out of the cornfield as well too. That was pretty incredible. That was awesome.
Is incredible.
And let's start off with that. But
yeah, that's awesome. You think about it, you want to give the fans something to watch, especially the people watching at home, right? Mm-hmm. You want to give them something. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, big shout out to MLB for doing that. Their drone shots was absolutely amazing. Actually, it makes me want to actually buy a drone now, just so I can do those type of cinema shots.
And I know you talked about that in the past, which is so funny and apropos that here it is. Now you're like, okay, that's sick, but you got to get a good one, right?
Of course. I don't know if I'm going to have the type of rig that they have. That's a few $1,000.
You never know. It might not be. It might be
like that, folks.
It might not even. You never know. Honestly, it could be a standard one, like $200-$300, and it's just putting in work. Yes. But I'm happy that got a chance to watch that. I'm happy that they did it for the fans. Being creative, especially at this time of COVID.
I think this was the most creativity I've seen in the four major sports in a long time. Honestly,
I agree. Outside of like a major show, like where there's going to be some type of entertainment, right?
You mean like All-Star games? Because people don't care about the All-Star games.
I wasn't going to go there. The only thing I could think of with All-Star games now is Fergie.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Friday. It is Dr. Prof. We're here. I am the Professor John Gotti, and that guy over there, podcasting beast. The reigning, defending, undisputed heavyweight podcast champion of the world. Freshly squeezed Doc Leesner.
My man J.A. Gotti coming at me live, the king of RNG, the troll master, the data analyzer ninja, the conqueror of his own fate, the newly formed Terminator. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the cleaner.
Least hype machine, best podcasting machine, straight to DVD, always tranquilo, Doc L.E. Delo. Are you miming around today, or are you hype because it's the end of a story and the beginning of another one? Revelation is upon us, and the new Genesis begins.
So I'm semi-hype.
Wait,
I'm gonna tell you why.
Add context to that one real quickly, because that could be taken really, really bad.
So I'm semi-hype, not for everything that you just said, but because of
Are you saying you got a semi?
Semi-hype.
That's what I'm talking about. The semi-hype. Bro.
Really, my semi-hypeness comes from the fact that Jalen Green tweaked his hamstring yesterday after we talked about that.
Did I not call that?
You did, but
I don't like to be right about this kind of thing, by the way.
But they're pulling him as a precaution, which I understand. But you're saying they should have just not even played him as a precaution.
They shouldn't have had him played as much.
Because you think about it, he's already a lock to make the team, right?
Like he's the number. He got drafted number 2. Y'all already committed to him.
Even Big Turk probably could stop playing.
Honestly, this is more for the people who are trying to make the team.
I agree. I think honestly, our four first round picks probably don't really need to play. But I understand. So I think Jalen Green probably could have skipped this because he already knows the speed because he came from the G League.
That was the other point that I was thinking of too, is the fact that he doesn't need to, he knows the pace of play for the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
This is more for people who are trying to make the team or are coming from college and need to acclimate themselves with the way the NBA functions because they only play 2 halves and now they're playing 4 quarters.
Obviously, Garuba got in from, the Olympics yesterday, so he was jet lagged, but he played. But that made me semi-hype. Jalen Green going down, obviously was left a slight pit in my stomach. I'm glad it was just hopefully a slight hamstring tweak, not something that's gonna linger on for the whole season.
I hope so.
But in other news, I don't know if you saw, but there was a interesting training camp video circling around the media like this, right? Yeah, exactly. Party on, Wayne. Exactly. Of Danny Dimes throwing a horrendous pass at training camp. I think he just threw it. I don't think it was one of those things where he was looking for a receiver, but yes, Daniel Jones threw a pass that left the media in a frenzy. It actually looked like the receiver stopped running their routes and he just threw it directly to the linebacker. So, of course, the media and social media made a big deal out of it. Clearly, he just threw it so that, obviously the linebackers could get some work because obviously the receivers aren't. But I feel like it's like everything we just take and just blow it out of proportion, expand it to
this is a low-hanging fruit conversation, by the way.
Sometimes you got to grab it. Sometimes you got to grab it, but
yikes, with those huevos.
Right. But sticking with the NFL, we did have some preseason action. We got a chance to see some young quarterbacks as the Washington football team went into Foxborough to play the New England Patriots. So it was a pretty good game from what you told me. I didn't get a chance to watch any of the game, but I felt like, as we always say, preseason is just preseason. Has no inkling on what could happen. And obviously the Washington football team had Taylor Heineke, right? Big Heineken, and Steven Montez, not to be confused with Ford, there on the field taking snaps. I assume this means they're going to start Ryan Fitzpatrick, which is so crazy. How could you not bring in a quarterback? Or how could you not just let Heineke just do it, right?
Yeah.
He looked pretty good moving the ball, especially against the Bucs in the playoffs. He got them to the playoffs, so crack yourself open a Heineken.
Wow.
Responsibly.
Wow. You need to add that disclaimer in now. We have debated amongst friends. We want you to be able to drink safely, and if you do decide to drink, please don't drive.
Yeah.
But if Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to be the starter for week 1, he has the trend of he'll have a few good games and then he'll, struggle. So don't be surprised when we see Taylor Heineke be behind center by at least week 6. But, it was a pretty good first preseason game. I would say the more competitive of the 2 games from last night was the Pittsburgh Steelers going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, that was a fun one.
Right. So did they start Jalen Hurts. I know that was the big thing. Would Hurts is Hurts the starter? Obviously, you have Flacco, you have Nick Mullins, which
I believe Joe Flacco actually started the game.
Okay, so in my opinion, I mean, you let your previous franchise quarterback go for Hurts, right? You say you're going to turn it over to Hurts, but then you bring in a veteran Flacco, which I would have assumed the football team would have did something similar, and Nick Mullins. But Nick Mullins obviously threw 2 picks. I mean, I won't go there because I didn't see him. They could be bad at Jameis balls for all I know. So it's like, to me, it's like, make your decision like, hey, Jalen Hurts is our guy. That's who we're going with, right? Because you don't want to start messing with people's confidence. And it's kind of what we talked about yesterday, where it's like, hey, are the Jaguars going to start Trevor Lawrence, right?
Yep.
Of course they're going to start Trevor Lawrence. So in this situation, it's like, just give the ball to Jalen, build your offense around Jalen, and let's kind of move on. Right?
I don't know. The Eagles have a really bad history when it comes to transitioning QBs as well, which
I agree. What, they went from McNabb to Kevin Kolb, and then from Kolb, I think Michael Vick came back in.
Yep.
So yeah, no, I get it wholeheartedly. I mean, I would say for the Steelers,
which was the same Michael Vick that Eagles. Actually, no, it was when he was with Pittsburgh. It was both of them actually. They just did not like him. But then he started to help them win games, so they was conflicted. They didn't know whether to cheer or to boo him.
Yeah, they cheered him at the end, though, and
of course, they
appreciated him being there. Yeah. But on the other side with the Steelers, though, it's different.
Appreciate them at the end is pretty much Donovan McNabb's entire career in Philadelphia. Sheesh.
Right. And I mean, but he got booed from the beginning.
Yeah.
But on the other side, it's a little different. So they're trying to figure out, the old Goldberg adage, who's next? Right? You're not really feeling.
I'm gonna let Doc hold on to that one by himself.
You're not really feeling that one. I mean, who's
hold on to that one by himself.
Do we want to go back to maybe and one? We got next, or who got next?
We're gonna switch from the gridiron and head to the hardwood.
Are we gonna go with maybe a little Jericho? These 2 quarterbacks just made the list.
We finally have details on Kawhi Leonard's extension. 4 years, $176 million to resign.
Come on.
To resign with the Clippers.
$36 million player option. He declined with good faith that the Clippers did him with a long-term deal. And shout out to Kawhi for staying with the Clippers, because he really didn't have to. He could have just signed another 1-year deal.
He didn't.
Yeah, another 1-year deal.
Of course, there was a lot of speculation about why he decided not to play when he for a lot of people it seemed like he could have played. And again, if you never played the game of basketball and you're trying to critique someone who is at the top of his game as one of the top 10 percentile in the league, like. You really shouldn't be talking. I'm sorry. I know people want to hear the casual takes, but we're not going to do casual takes like that. Like, come on, you shouldn't be talking. And of course, speaking of also re-signings, because Doc mentioned him this week, actually. The brother is heading back to Milwaukee.
Yeah. I saw that come across my screen, and I'm just like,
As soon as I saw that news, I started laughing. I'm like, Doc
it's hilarious.
Even said.
No, it's definitely hilarious, without question. But he gets a 2-year deal. Obviously, PJ Tucker leaving. Maybe the Antetokounmpos can team up and play, I guess, that kind of defense together. Does this open up a spot for him to start or to play more? Possibly.
I don't know. Who knows? That's a great question, though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't think that's a notable signing. I mean, it's great for morale. Obviously, you keep Giannis happy, your star happy.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Maybe because I don't obviously watch Bucks basketball enough to know exactly how great or not great this move is. I mean, I don't know if there were any other suitors for his services.
Probably not.
I mean, we're talking about a guy who played 57 games. He averaged about 10 minutes. Shot almost 50% from the field, 24% from three, 50% from free throw, 2 rebounds a game, 3 points a game. So I mean, it wasn't like I'm just not seeing
enough. There's not enough of a sample size to make a determination to try to bring him in if you're another team.
And I don't know, did it show what the contract was for you yet?
No,
I didn't.
It didn't
I
show
see
anything
the 2
from the
years.
contract yet.
So I'm wondering what this entails. Like, is he going to be making more than Udonis Haslem? You know what I'm saying? Which I think Haslem at this point could probably do a little better than what he's doing right now. But I mean, I'm trying not to play him. You know me, like I'm trying not to play him. I always try not to play people, but this is a rough one. But again, he might have been really, really good. Maybe he helped prepare them in practice. Maybe he helps them in ways that we don't see. He could be an integral part of that championship run that we don't know. But again, I know Giannis is going to be happy about it. But the one thing I did see before we wrap this bad boy up, and this is straight from my Facebook. So this is hopefully kind of an exclusive that hasn't even really been publicized yet. But apparently, former NFL wide receiver Kenny Britt is going to join the NJCU women's basketball team as their strength and conditioning coach.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you added that context.
He's like, what? He's going to do what? He was like, okay, finish. But yes, I did see that.
That's pretty cool, though. Of course, Kenny Britt is a native of the great state of New Jersey. And, we enjoy seeing athletes coming back to their home state and contributing within the community, especially at the collegiate level. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see if there's, of course, people don't understand the type of impact the strength and conditioning coach has for not just the basketball team, for football team, hockey team, heck, even golf.
Facts.
Like
it's really important.
Really important.
Really, really important. But yes, somebody I went to high school with is the head coach of the NJCU. Yeah, Pat Devaney. Yep, he's out there, the head coach of that NJCU. Exactly.
Not to be confused with Patrick. What's up, Ryan? Oops.
Eat a Snickers. But congrats to him on going ahead and making that hire. Hopefully that helps his team. He's already starting to change that program around, so it's awesome. But I know you heard this podcast on your favorite podcast platform. But if you didn't, you can always go to our website at www.debateamongstfriends.com to listen to this episode as well as all of the previous. Be sure to catch us Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as we will always deliver the news, go over the analysis, but always give you the reads.
Give me back my son!